Are you enjoying desire, or are your desires killing you? Are you staying up to speed with these desires that life is causing you? The contrast is causing you to focus into being. Are you enjoying your desires? Are you enjoying this contrast of your time and space? And if you say yes to that question, then what that means is that you're usually staying up to speed. When life causes you to want something, when life causes you to want more money, you go with that rocket. You buy into the dream. You talk about the dream and you talk about how it feels. You don't kill your dream right away. You don't decide, I want more money. Oh, but I don't have it. You say, I want more money and it would be so nice to have it. And it's going to be so good to experience it and all the benefit that it could give me. And I like when I can do this and I like when I can do that. And so it goes on and on and on. Because if you're able to stay up to speed with your desires, then you're enjoying your life experience. You're having that happy moment in time. And that really is the prize. And you also are experiencing manifestations all the time. Because when life causes you to want something, you go with it. You know how to go with it. And that's really what the art of why we're here is all about. Because manifestation is just a fancy word of saying your realization, what you're steadily perceiving in this now moment. This moment is a manifestation. Every moment is a manifestation. But you see, there is this vibrational reality that you're trying to perceive. And that's what the manifestation that you're talking is all about. You're trying to perceive something that is vibrationally here, but is not physically here. And so you're being reminded of that all day, every day. You see, when you want more money, when you notice that you don't have any money, you want more money. But the thing is, if you look in your reality right now and you use the reason or use the fact that you don't see the money in your reality right now to be the reason why you feel bad about money, or don't go with the desire, or talk yourself out of wanting the money, so you talk yourself out of, believing that you can have it, then you're not really up to speed with your desires. In fact, your desires are hurting you more of the times. And so you're not having a lot of fun. You want the eject button. You want to know exactly what sort of torturous experience you sign up for. Because when you don't understand the laws of the universe, when you don't understand who you really are, then you're here on the leading edge of thought. You're here on the leading edge where things are manifesting and you don't know how things are manifesting. It's sort of just a crapshoot. You're getting a little bit of everything. You see, you really are source energy, and you continue to be this source energy while the rest of you stayed as that source energy, and you do have that connection. So what that means is source energy isn't off in some faraway place and is not judging you. Source energy is here right now with you. And it's not because source energy was assigned to you because you need some assistance. It's not that at all. It's that that's your soulmate. That's your partnership. You came here to create world. You came here because the contrast was so enamoring. It's so delicious. You said, because ultimately your nature is focusing. You are a focusing being. You are a focuser of energy. And a focuser of energy like you, who has access to the energy that creates worlds, needs things to focus on. And so that's why you're here. That's why you're in an experience where you know what you don't want. And so when you know what you don't want, you always know what you do want. And so that's happening all day, every day. And that's the thing that we want to really help you understand in this video, is that you're asking all day, every day. And your job is not to figure out how it's going to happen. Your job is to be satisfied with the dream. Your job is to just find the feeling version of it. Your job is to be satisfied with where you are. Your job is to make peace with where you are. Your job is to feel better wherever you are, even if you don't have what you want, because life is going to continue to call forth from you desires, and you got to stay up to speed, because you think, and this is sort of the human understanding of manifestation, that once I get over there, I'm going to be happy. And then we come over here and we're saying, well, the thing is, when you get over there, there's always going to be something more to want. So even when you get there, it's not going to feel as good, because when you get there, you're going to be standing on a new platform that's going to give birth to new desires. So we want you to settle into this sort of eternal understanding that you're always going to be asking. And we want you to think of contrast as something that really is so valuable, because contrast does all the work for you. Because when all you have to do is ask for something, and so contrast helps you with that. Contrast is helping you focus. And so when you know what you don't want, you know what you do want. So just be more clear about what you want. Be more clear about the dream. Be more clear about what you have, because you're not the one who is going to, put an engine on your boat and get all the way over there right now. That's not your job. You know what's funny? Contrast actually helps you with that, because when you want something a little bit, then you have a little energy. But then the more that you walk throughout your life, the more days you live, the more you want it. And so there's more contrast. The more contrast you experience, the more bigger the solution is, right? And so the bigger the solution is, the more energy there is. And that's what you want. You want your desires to have big answering. You want to have a big question, because then there's a big sort of answer. The answer and, well, the problem and the solution are always on the same, vibrational level, meaning, well, they're not on the vibrational level, they're very equal in velocity. So when you have a big problem, then you have a big solution. It's equal in size in that sort of way. And so that's a really good thing. So you want to let contrast do its job. You want to you want to allow contrast to be the benefit that you knew it was going to be, because contrast was going to help you get all of it over there to the end. Because the more you want something, the more you start to put fuel in your car, the more you start to sort of put fuel, more momentum. And you see how contrast and momentum really are, they're very, they go together in a very interesting way that maybe you haven't heard, because by getting into the vortex. And so you get into the vortex and you quickly get up to speed with everything that you want. The thing is, you're not going to stay in the vortex, because that's not your job. You didn't come to stay in the vortex. You came, and this is where things get interesting. You came because contrast was interesting. And so contrast was really the reason why you came. You came because you wanted to make your journey towards something. You want to enjoy your journey more. You want to have something to move towards, because doesn't life feel good? Life only feels good when you're moving towards something and you're going with the expansion and you're moving in that direction, when all of you is moving in that direction. Ooh, all of you, not the pinched off version, all of you. And that's what negative emotion is all about. When you feel negative emotion, it's because you're not moving in that direction. You're not allowing yourself to move in that direction. You're doing that thing that's slowing down your manifestations. And why would you be doing that? Because you're observing reality, because you want to talk about what's real. And most of the time is because, are you ready for this? Because you're not good at seeing up to speed with your desire. You're not good at the allowing part, because the thing is, life is going to cause you to ask, and you have to learn how to allow it, because you can't keep asking all the time. You have to learn how to allow it. And so that's the thing, is you want to accept that in every sort of second, every moment, there's always going to be something that you're wanting. There's something that life is helping you come to sort of terms and clarified. I want this way, even if you can't express it with your words. You're expressing it with your vibration. You're launching these desires vibrationally. So you want to stay up to speed with your desires, because life is going to be all about desires. And you know why life is all about desires? Because you came here for expansion. And also, your inner being is in the vortex. So it's so important to understand that you're vibrational, because most of you is vibrational, and all of you is in this vibrational reality. So you got to love contrast the way that you came here loving it. You got to love contrast. You got to see contrast as the benefit. You got to say, oh yes, I wouldn't have known that I wanted that if I didn't experience the opposite end of it. But instead of going with the rocket, instead of moving all of your force energy towards allowing, you're still stuck in the problem. You're still stuck in the sifting and sorting. You're still stuck in the I want this, I really don't want this, I really don't want this, rather than being like, I want this. Making all of your effort in the sort of the allowing, because that's your job. Your job is to get really good at allowing, but then also understanding that you're not going to allow all the time, because that's not what you wanted. You're actually going to fall out of the allowing mode. And then you know why you fall out of the allowing mode? And this is so important, because there's contrast. You fall out of the allowing mode, and there's contrast. And so that contrast is actually from your inner being most of the times. You see, when you're in the vortex, you're still going to experience contrast. But since you got out ahead of it, since you were daydreaming, since you were meditating, and since you were pretty much in the vortex, then you're already tuned to a high frequency, so that when you're experiencing contrast, now you're able to sort of catch your balance a lot faster. Now the reaction doesn't take a lot of time. You react to life, because in that reaction is something really important. There's contrast, but you're able to take the balance. You're able to be like, okay, I really don't want to be poor, but I really do want money, and money sounds so good. And so you trot off in that direction, and you have fun in that direction, because you don't have to get all the way there right now. You just have to find the emotion of it. You just have to find the dream. You just have to find the peace that feels good. You have to find the vibrational essence, and that has to be enough for this moment, because what happens? Then you're gonna have more contrast. And usually your inner being is the one who's setting the contrast, because your inner being knows that it's the path of least resistance. So there's still going to be resistance. There's still going to be contrast on that path. And quite frankly, that's a good thing. You don't want to just make your way right to your desire. You don't want the shortest path. And you think you do, because you just, it feels so bad to be where you are right now. And it'll just feel so much better to be over there. But if that was the case, if you could just make your way towards every single desire, if it was just that easy, or not in a way that, it's not that it's not easy, it's just that if it was instant in the way that you really think you want, then you would have a lot of problems, because you're not that focused. If you manifested a car hitting you every time, if you thought about something and it came to you right away, then you'd be getting hit by cars. Things that you would not be wanting would be coming, because ultimately you don't need to have that sort of control over your focus, because your inner being has got your back. You have sort of a lag time. You have a buffer of time. So things are not going to get really horrible for you if you catch them early, if you can catch them. And so all in all, contrast is really that for your friend. You want to enjoy contrast. You want to accept that. You want to accept this sort of every day as a new sort of expansion. And so as you go out into this vibrational field, you want to know that contrast is going to help you. Contrast is going to tell you exactly what to want. It's going to say, okay, you want money, you want this, you want that, and your job is just to go with the rocket. Your job is not to fight against it. Your job is to go with the rocket, and then realize that when you go with the rocket, you're going to talk about why you want it. You're going to get to that place, but you don't have to hold that place forever, because you're not going to, you know why? Because the manifestation now isn't the prize. It's the journey. It's the, okay, this moment was good, bam, there's more contrast. So it's always leading, it's always more, it's always expansive. The energy is moving faster and faster and faster. And the faster that the energy moves, the more you want to stay up to speed with it, because the faster, if it moves faster, and it is, because you keep asking and you're here longer and longer and longer, so the stream is getting faster. Contrast is making you make your stream go faster. And so you know what happens if you don't go with that flow? You're going to feel the sort of repercussion of it. You're going to feel the feeling of moving. That's why negative emotion hurts so much. When you really want something and you really don't believe it, then it hurts a lot, because you're trying to budge an energy that's already moving so fast, right? And that's what happens when a stream of water is moving really fast, in like a river. There's a current of water, and when you try to paddle upstream, when you try to paddle against the stream, it's really so grueling and so much effort. It's so hard, and that's what you're all doing. Instead of going with the stream, you're trying to fight against it, because you're trying to talk yourself into why you don't believe you're gonna have what you want, when you could spend more of your time stepping back in a more general spot, in a general place, and going with the stream. That's your job. Your job is to go with the stream. And the reason why that seems like, no, like I want to get to my manifestation right now, is because you don't accept, one, that there's a vibrational reality. You don't accept, two, that you have an inner being who is sending you contrast. Ooh, that's a new way to understand contrast. Your inner being is sending you contrast. Your inner being is saying, here, take this bounce, because every single bounce is going to lead to you to having what you want. But the thing is, since you're only in it for the manifestation, and since everything you want is already 99% complete, even before you see any physical evidence, so if you're in it for the manifestation and you don't see it right now, you're not going to be able to stay up to see with the contrast. And and that's what happens when you're a big dreamer. When you're a big dreamer, means that you ask a lot. And so since you're asking for these, not big things, but you're asking very clearly, and you ask for it over and over again. So every time contrast makes you want more money, you don't want the money of, a 9 to 5. You want the money of spending all this money. You want money to come to you so easily as air that you breathe. And the thing is, you have to stay up to speed with that. But if your job is a manifestation, then you're not going to stay up to speed with it, because the fact that it's not here is going to really trip you out. It's going to send you in spiral, and it's going to send you in a vibrational sort of tailspin in the opposite direction. And that's what's happening, is that you're spending all of your effort trying to make it to the manifestation when it's not your job. Your job is to understand that your inner being has your back. And so in this now moment where you stand, just take it second by second, take it moment by moment, because your inner being is going to help you. And so you want to understand that you can't help but want. And so your job is to just go with every rocket, because as you go with every rocket, then the energy will get faster. And when there's fast energy and you're allowing it, you know what there is? There's a lot of manifestation.